RT visited the US State Department to request evidence to allegations that Russia is targeting hospitals in Syria and that it's blocking humanitarian aid from reaching conflict zones. The State Department spokesperson reiterated the accusations and stated that he will no longer treat RT the same as other media outlets. Let's go live to RT's Washington correspondent Gayane Chichakyan to get a first-hand account of that briefing. Good to see you, Gayane. I've watched the exchange. I think you've got quite a particular relationship, you and John Kirby. There's something going on there. He always seems like he's about on the verge of losing it when you speak. This was another intense, let's call it, exchange. Did he actually give you the details that you requested?
Well, it took some pressing and effort to get specifics. As you know, State Department's John Kirby has accused Russia of hitting 5 hospitals in Syria within the past few days. When asked by another journalist in which cities, Mr. Kirby did not seem to know or think it was necessary to share such specifics. I followed up on my colleague's question. Here.
Don't you think it is important to give a specific list of hospitals that you're accusing Russia of hitting? Those are grave accusations.
I'm not making those accusations. I'm telling you we've seen reports from credible aid organizations that 5 hospitals and a clinic, at least one clinic.
In what cities, at least?
You can go look at the information that many of the Syrian relief agencies are putting out there publicly. We're getting our information from them too. These reports.
But you're citing those reports without giving any specifics.
Because we believe these agencies are credible, and because we have other sources of information that back up what we're seeing from some of these reports. And you know what? Why don't you ask? Here's a good question. Why don't you ask your defense ministry what they're doing and see if you can get? No.
If you give a specific list of hospitals, my colleagues who are listening hopefully would be able to go and ask Russian officials about a specific list of hospitals that
you work for Russia Today, right? Isn't that your agency?
Correct.
And so, why shouldn't you ask your government the same kinds of questions that you're standing here asking me? Ask them about their military activities. Get them to tell you what, or to deny what they're doing.
When I ask for specifics, it seems your response is, why are you here? Well, you are leveling that accusation.
No,
and if you give specifics, my colleagues would be able to ask Russian officials.
Once again, you're just wrong. I'm not leveling those accusations. Relief agencies that we find credible are leveling those accusations.
Furthermore, Mr. Kirby made it clear, had the questions come from somebody else, another journalist, somebody not working for RT, he would have answered differently.
Be careful about saying your defense minister and things like that. I mean, she's a journalist just like the rest of us are, so it's, you know, she's asking pointed questions, but they're not, you know,
from a state-owned outlet.
But they're not
from a state-owned outlet.
The questions
that
she's asking are not out of line.
I didn't say the questions were out of line.
Okay.
I didn't say the questions were out of line.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Oh no, I understand.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to put Russia Today on the same level with the rest of you who are representing independent media outlets.
Hold on, but look, they're. Well, we can talk about this later offline, but just, you know, the question is not an inappropriate question to ask.
Didn't say that it was, but I also think it should be asked of their own defense ministry.
Okay.
Which they don't do, which Russia Today doesn't do.
As I was walking out of the briefing room, an official from the State Department's press relations office caught up with me, said, "I'm sorry about that," and asked for my email to send the list of hospitals. I received that list. It mentions 5 hospitals reportedly hit by airstrikes, among them 3 hospitals in Atareb in western rural Aleppo and 2 others in Syria's Idlib province in the towns of Benish and Marat an-Numan. We cannot independently verify the reports at this time. I know my colleagues at RT are planning to ask the Russian Foreign Ministry about these specific accusations this Thursday.
OK, there was a lot of push and shove there, but you got there in the end. Well done. We've got that list, got the names. Many thanks. Gayane Chichakyan there in Washington.